Wow.
So it really
I have one friend who this is her third time, and she was.
Right.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. So the focus today, and this is what it's about.
That's right, girl.
The focus today
Pretty yellow dog did with her.
is about the fundamental principle. You know, yesterday was Pentecost.
Yeah.
And if Pentecost is about anything, it's about people resurrecting. It's about community. It's about love and justice being more powerful than oppression and wrong and injustice. We reminded folks that through the scriptures and in our Constitution, there is this notion of equal protection under the law. The scripture says, inasmuch as you do to the least of these, you've done it unto me.
Yeah.
That's equal protection. Isaiah 10 calls for affirmative action whenever equal protection is not done, because it says, doom unto those, Isaiah 10, who legislate evil and rob the poor of their rights. Liberty, the fruit of your own labor, and the pursuit of happiness is a right. It says that all North Carolinians are guaranteed equal protection under the law. And the 14th Amendment says that anybody born or naturalized must be guaranteed equal protection under law. So when this state legislature cuts 500,000 poor people from Medicaid, and then wants to privatize Medicaid so that the can't get rid of sick people's misery, that's not equal protection under the law. That's morally indefensible and constitutionally inconsistent. When this legislature wants to cut money for public education and give money to private schools and turn our public schools money into a business for those who want to make it wealthy, and they know it's going to hurt the poor, not poor black, but poor white, poor Latino, poor period. That's not equal protection under the law. That's fundamentally inconsistent, and it's morally indefensible. When in this state, we see 165,000 people denied unemployment in this state. In a state where our Constitution says we have a right to the fruit of our labor. And when they want to deny workers' rights and labor's rights, that is a violation of the principle of equal protection under the law. It's morally indefensible and constitutionally inconsistent. In this state, when we see legislators who want to use their supermajority to overrun the priorities of a Constitution and raise taxes on 900,000 working poor people so they can give 23 people a tax cut, that's against the law. Under the law, either in the scripture or in about anywhere. And if they're doing it because it's deliberate, or if they're doing it because they're naive, either way is wrong. It's wrong. And I don't believe it's naive. It's premeditated cruelty. It's an attempt to use your political power to overrun the great principles of our Constitution and our scriptures. They are playing a game, but we're not. And they need to understand that we're in the game now. And maybe they didn't think North Carolina would stand up. Maybe they thought they could make this just a black issue because the NAACP is involved. But somebody's got to tell them they better understand Stand up! Wake up! Wake up! Stand up! Stand up! Forward together! Forward together! Not one step back! Not one step back! And expanding the tax and expanding taxes on food and haircuts, hairdos, and prescription drugs. That's not equal protection. That's unequal policy. Those are policies that violate everything about freedom and justice and doing right. So in this moment, we're called to be a witness. We know there's a better way.
Yes. Yes.
This legislature is taking us down a road backwards. We must take a stand to go forward. They're making it harder for people and children to get educated. They're making it harder for the sick to get health care. They're making it harder for working people to make it in this world. But they're making it easier for folks to die for the lack of health insurance. They're making it easier for sick children not to be cared for. They're making it easier for children to end up in prison rather than having fruitful lives. They're making it easier for unemployed workers to go through all kind of psychological trauma because they don't have any money when their jobs leave. They're making it easier to get guns. They're making it easier for folks to be in despair. But how many of you all have decided today we're not going to let them do it easy? We don't have to use ugliness. We don't have to use knives and guns. I just left Mississippi with the widow of Medgar Evers. 50 years ago, there was a movement in Mississippi, and there was a movement in Birmingham. Before Medgar Evers was shot, he said, you can kill a person, but you can't kill an idea. And one thing we know, since this is the Monday after Pentecost Sunday, something happens when people are stirred in their spirit. Something happens when there's a rumbling in the spirit. Something happens when people decide that they can't take no more. Something happens when people are going to stand up. And in my tradition, my grandma used to say, when things got tough, she'd say, I pray that something runs from heart to heart and breast to breast. I want to ask all y'all to be Pentecostal for a minute. Touch your neighbor and say, I feel something. I feel something. Moving from heart to heart. And breast to breast. And it feels like a movement. Right here in North Carolina. Today, we want to form one long aisle. People who are going in, we ask them to come always to David Street first. If you are deciding, don't just hop in the line, let us know. They're going to go in first, then you can follow. We want to go 2 by 2, don't bunch up. Don't bunch up. You go inside, you're not going to engage in civil disobedience in your own free will and accord. And when the officers ask you to leave, we just leave quietly, come back, go around the back, and we're going to wait for people to come out, and some of us are going to be over there. It's strange to me anyway, that conservatives who are always talking about prayer will arrest us for praying, you know what I'm saying? It's strange to me that folk that follow the Tea Party who took effigies of the president and pictures of guns and all that kind of stuff, and they want to arrest us for holding a little placard that says, don't cut my health care. But be that as it may, it won't deter us. And we are going to ensure that everybody in North Carolina knows what's going on. So that in the days to come when there's another election, they make their own decision. Our lawyers are going to fight them on everything we can in court that doesn't meet the standard of equal protection under the law. Next week, we won't be here on next Monday. We're starting a 25-county tour. And then on the next Monday, June 3rd, we'll be back here in full force.
And so will we.
We got a social media campaign that's going on, and on the site, it's already got over 300,000 hits. Touch somebody and say, there's a movement. Right here. Right here. Right now. Right now. Right here. Right here. Right now. Right now. Right here. Right here. Right now. Right now. Finally, as I conclude, you know, they say that Mr. Tillers is on the board of Alex. And they say that the guy, our brother in there that advises the governor, used to be on the board, and of course we have Mr. Art Pope and his money, and they got this playbook. You know, they got pre-written laws and legislation, and they run the playbook. But they didn't figure on us being in the play. Huh? They didn't figure on that. And I wish you all would tell somebody beside you, love and justice has never lost.
Love and justice has never lost.
It might get crucified. It might get beat down. But at the end of the day, when the game is over and the dust settles, justice and love always win. It's time to say forward together. Forward together. One step back. One step back. Forward together. Forward together. One step back. One step back. Forward together.